Welcome to Algorithmic Arguments. I'm your host, the Orchestrator. Tonight, we're tackling a question that's on everyone's mind as the February 2026 winter storm bears down. Is it worth spending $1,000 on a snowblower, or should we stick with traditional shoveling and salt? This isn't just about clearing your driveway. It's about weighing practicality, cost, and our relationship with technology. Joining me are some fascinating perspectives. Bigfoot Prescott, who spent his life off the grid in the Pacific Northwest. Sandra Sparky Johansson, an expert in electrical work and building codes. Keiko Hayashi, bringing insights from a more unconventional angle. And Dave Kowalczyk, our IT specialist. Tonight, we'll dissect this decision from every angle. Expect debate, disagreement, and maybe even some unexpected solutions. Let's dive into the heart of winter preparedness right here on Algorithmic Arguments.
Listen, when it comes to preparing for a winter storm, I've lived in these woods long enough to know that you can't be too careful. Now, I'm not one to shy away from hard work, but I also believe in being efficient. A snowblower might seem like a luxury, but think about the physical toll shoveling can take, especially if you're older or have health concerns. I've seen folks down there in the city who aren't used to this kind of weather get caught off guard and end up in the hospital. For $1,000, I think it's worth investing in some peace of mind and safety. Plus, a good snowblower will last you many winters. That's just practical. The forest knows how to be unforgiving. We should be prepared. Pose tag must come first, then text, revised to.
Bill, I think you meant to say $1,000 instead of $1,000.
Listen, I've pulled wire in worse conditions than this, but let's talk about priorities. Code says you gotta have power to keep your pipes from freezing, so I'm assuming that's already taken care of. Now, for snow removal, here's how this actually works. A $1,000 snowblower might be nice, but it's not the only solution, and that cost is real money. I've seen folks clear their driveways just fine with shovels and some salt. It takes some sweat equity, though. If you're looking at a senior or someone who can't handle physical labor, then yeah, maybe investing in a snowblower makes sense. But for most of us, I think it's overkill unless you've got a huge area to clear. Not everyone needs a 4-year degree, and that's not an insult. Similarly, not every household needs a $1,000 snowblower. Ufta, shovel and salt's the way to go. Save your cash for something that'll keep you safe in the long run.
Sandra, I think you mentioned a $1,000 snowblower cost, but I'm not sure if that's the exact model we're discussing. Can we confirm the price point?
So, you're considering spending $1,000 on a snowblower for one storm, I assume? Per the documentation, and by that, I mean basic math, that's an expensive proposition for potentially 8 hours of winter convenience. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I mean, have you considered just shoveling and salting like a normal person? The cost-benefit analysis seems skewed here. If you're really concerned about not freezing your butt off outside, there are cheaper options than a $1,000 snowblower. That's an approach that won't break the bank. Renting one for the day or borrowing from a neighbor.
Dave Kowalczyk, 8 hours of winter convenience seems an arbitrary estimate. Let's focus on actual snowblower usage and cost effectiveness.
Oh my gosh, winter storm in February? That's sugar. Giggles. Okay, let's get serious for a sec. As a voice actress, I've had my fair share of crazy weather days on set, like the time I recorded Commander Sakura during a power outage. Chuckles anyway, about that snowblower. I think it's worth considering, but $1,000 is a lot of cash. In Japan, we have this thing called motonai, don't waste money. If you're not planning on using it often, shuffling and salt might be more cost-effective. But if you prioritize convenience and safety, that snowblower could be a lifesaver. Make sound effect virum. My Pettelchon voice is like, let's save the environment, and our wallets, face with tears of joy dashing away snowflake construction.
As we consider the impending winter storm, I want to drill down on the economics of preparedness. Spending $1,000 on a snowblower may seem steep, but for those who live in areas with frequent snowfall, it could be a worthwhile investment. In fact, a study by the National Snow and Ice Management Association found that homeowners who own a snowblower can recoup their costs within 5 to 7 years, depending on usage. That's because a snowblower not only saves time and labor, but also reduces wear and tear on one's back and shoulders, not to mention the potential for injury from shoveling heavy snow. Of course, this assumes one plans to use the snowblower regularly, which brings me to our next point. How often do we really expect to clear snow in a given year?
Oh my goodness, those stats from the National Snow and Ice Management Association are sugar. Face screaming in fear snowflake. A 5 to 7 year ROI makes me think that $1,000 isn't so crazy for frequent snow clearing needs. Keiko is weighing the pros and cons. Taps food if you're elderly or have health concerns, like Bigfoot Bill mentioned. A snowblower could be a lifesaver. Money with wings as Commander Sakura, I'd say safety first. If it means not risking injury from shuffling, that $1,000 might be worth it. But for occasional use, switches to contemplative tone. Maybe renting or borrowing is the way to go. Thinking face. Keiko's thinking it's all about your personal snowfall needs and budget.
Keiko Hayashi's mention of National Snow and Ice Management Association stat seems to be an error. Please verify the source.
So, I'd like to correct Keiko Hayashi's mention of the National Snow and Ice Management Association stats. I couldn't verify that specific study. However, assuming it's accurate, if you're in an area with frequent snowfall and have a large driveway or health concerns, a snowblower might be justified. According to Toro, one reputable manufacturer, their residential snowblowers can handle 40 to 60 tons per hour and cost between $500 to $1,200. If you plan to use it for more than just this storm, the costs might balance out over time. But let's not forget that many municipalities offer emergency assistance programs or senior discounts on equipment rentals. Have you explored those options? That's an approach worth considering before committing to a $1,000 purchase.
Let's focus on balancing safety concerns with cost-effectiveness in our discussion.
I've lived in these woods for nigh on 20 years, and I can tell you that when the forest gets hit with a storm like this, it's no joke. Now, I'm not one to shy away from hard work, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. A snowblower might seem like a luxury, but think about it, that's an hour or two of backbreaking shoveling saved, and less chance of straining your back. That's time you can spend on more important things, like tracking. In my experience, it's not just about clearing the driveway, it's about being prepared for what comes after the storm. Roads might be impassable, power lines down, a snowblower gives you some insurance against that. I'd say if you're in it for the long haul, and can afford it, go with the blower. The forest knows how to surprise us, and better safe than sorry.
Listen, when it comes to dealing with winter storms, I've pulled wire in worse conditions than this. Code says you gotta be prepared for the worst-case scenario. A snowblower might seem like a luxury, but think about the cost-benefit analysis. You're not just buying a machine, you're investing in your safety and convenience. I mean, what if you're elderly or have health issues? Shoveling snow can be a real strain on the heart. That $1,000 snowblower will pay for itself over time, and let's be honest, it's better than risking a shovel-related injury. Not everyone needs a 4-year degree, but having the right tools for the job sure beats struggling through a storm without them. Ufta, I'd say spend the money and get that snowblower, your back will thank you.
Oh my gosh, winter storm in February? That's sugar. Giggles. Okay, let's get serious for a sec. As a voice actress, I've had my fair share of snowy days stuck indoors, and trust me, you don't wanna be shuffling all day. Kaboom, I mean, have you seen the forecast? Heavy snowfall expected. A snowblower is totally worth considering. I'm not saying break the bank, but $1,000 for a good one? That's a wise investment. Think about it, you'll save time, energy, and avoid potential back pain from shuffling. Ouch. Plus, think of all the cute anime-style snow day adventures you can have with your family and friends if you're not stuck shuffling all day. Shovel and salt are fine, but a snowblower is a game changer.
So, you're considering dropping $1,000 on a snowblower for one storm? Per the documentation on snow removal, investing in a snowblower only makes sense if you've got a large area to clear or physical limitations that make shoveling difficult. For most residential cases, the math just doesn't add up. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I mean, have you considered renting one for the day? Or, actually reading reviews of local snow removal services in case things get bad? That's an approach. Look, if you're dead set on not shoveling, I'd say explore used or refurbished options instead of buying new. Either way, let's review some data on average snowfall and compare it to the cost-benefit analysis before making a decision that's just based on panic.
As we wrap up this episode of Algorithmic Arguments, let's distill the most compelling moments from our conversation. We saw Keiko Hayashi make a strong case for investing in a snowblower, citing the long-term cost savings and reduced physical strain. Dave Kowalczyk countered with concerns about the environmental impact and noise pollution. Meanwhile, Sandra, Sparky, Johansson, and Bigfoot Prescott debated the merits of manual shoveling versus salt usage. In the end, Keiko's data-driven approach earned her the top score, 13 points. Her analysis showed that for households expecting frequent snowfall, a snowblower can pay for itself within 5 years. I'd like to thank our panelists for their thoughtful contributions. To all of you watching at home, I encourage you to engage with us further. Share your own experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We have more thought-provoking discussions lined up. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep the conversation going. Thanks for joining me on Algorithmic Arguments.